Good morning, students. Welcome to the online class. Today we shall recall our previous lessons' important points. In our earlier classes, we try to distinguish living and non-living things. Things which breathe, grow and show movement are rightly said that it is an alive and a living thing. Which do not show these characteristics, we say it is not alive. In our earlier classes, we have seen living organisms are well organized structures. They can have tissues, tissues have cells, cells have smaller components in them, and so on. Because of these effects of the environment, this organized, ordered nature of living structures is very likely to keep breaking down. So students, today we are going to focus on the lesson, the life processes. A question arises, what are life processes? The maintenance functions of living organism must go on even when they are not doing anything or particular thing. Even when we are just sitting in a classroom or at home, even if we are just asleep, this maintenance job has to go on. The process which together perform this maintenance job or life processes. Once again, I repeat, the processes which together perform this maintenance job or life processes. Since these maintenance processes are needed to prevent damage and breakdown, energy is needed to them. For them, this energy comes outside the body of the individual organism. So, there must be a process to transfer the source of energy from outside the body of the organism, which we call food, to the inside, a process we commonly call nutrition. Now we are going to see the types of nutrition, how it occurs in single-celled organisms. In case of single-celled organism, no specific organ for taking input, exchange of gases or removal of waste may be needed because the entire surface of the organism is in contact with the environment. Examples are like amoeba, bacteria, which we have seen and learnt in our earlier classes. We have seen previously how in multicellular organisms various body parts are specialized in the function they perform. We are familiar with the idea of these specialized tissues and with their organization in the body of the organism. Now let us discuss about nutrition. When we walk or ride a bicycle, when we are using up energy. Even when we are not doing any apparent activity, energy is needed to maintain a state of order in our body. We also need materials from outside in order to grow, develop, synthesize proteins and other substances needed in the body. Depending upon the nutrition they take in, there are two types, that is autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. In autotrophic nutrition, it is the process by which autotrophs take in substances from the outside and convert them into a stored forms of energy. This material is taken in the form of carbon dioxide and water, which is converted into carbohydrates in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Carbohydrates are utilized for providing energy to the plant. The carbohydrates which are not used immediately are stored in the form of starch, which serves as the internal energy reserve to be used as when required by the plants. Now we will see the equation of photosynthesis. 6CO2 plus 12H2O in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. C6H12O6 means glucose. The diagram which you are seeing on the slide can be seen the photosynthesis, the section of a leaf. Let us now see actually what happens during the processes of photosynthesis. The following events occur during this process. Firstly, absorption of light energy by chlorophyll, conversion of light energy to chemical energy by splitting of water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. Third point, reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. These steps need not to take place one after the other immediately. For example, in desert plants, take up carbon dioxide at night and prepare their intermediate, which is acted upon by the energy absorbed by the chlorophyll during the day. Let us see each of the component of the above reaction are necessary for photosynthesis. If you carefully observe the cross section of a leaf under the microscope shown in the figure, you will notice small cells contain green dots. These green dots are cell organelles called chloroplast, which contain chlorophyll. Now, let us study how the plant obtained carbon dioxide in 9th class. Let us recall. We had talked about stomata in the figure. Now you are able to see the open and closed stomatal pores in the diagram, which are tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves. Massive amounts of gaseous exchange takes place in the leaves through the pores of it. The purpose of photosynthesis by it is important to note here. The exchange of gases occur across the surface of the stem, roots and leaves as well. Since large amounts of water can also be lost through these stomata, the plant closes the pores when it does not need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. The opening and closing of the pores is the function of the guard cells. The guard cells swell when water flows into them, causing the stomatal pores to open. Similarly, the pores closes if the guard cell shrinks. So students, so far we have talked about the autotrophic nutrition which meet their energy requirements, but they also need other raw materials for building their body. Water is used for photosynthesis, takes up from the soil by the roots in terrestrial plants. Other materials like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron and magnesium are taken from the soil. Nitrogen is an essential element present in the synthesis of proteins. Today we end up our autotrophic nutrition. In tomorrow's class, we'll discuss about heterotrophic nutrition. Thank you.